This training will demonstrate multiple reevaluations for a single project. I'm logged into the test server as a District 1 project manager, and I've pulled up a project in District 1. I'll scroll down to the section that contains reevaluations. The reevaluations folder currently contains an existing draft reevaluation for segment 419344 in the right-of-way phase. In addition to being able to edit that current evaluation, I can also add a new one for the same project. I can create a new reevaluation by clicking the Create button. I complete the reevaluation form as normal. Pay particular attention to adding the design phase because this now will become part of the name of the file that shows up in my project page. Each reevaluation type that I select will be added to the name of the reevaluation form in my project page so I can distinguish one form from another. In Section D of Part 1, I'll identify the segments that are being evaluated in this reevaluation. I can type in a partial segment number and then select from a list. A record for that segment appears, and I'm prompted to select the type, in this case design change and right-of-way, and select the project segment letting type. These two elements, the project segment ID and the reevaluation type, will be used to compose the name for this reevaluation form to distinguish it from others in the project page. Supporting documentation that's attached to the reevaluation form is now shown in a folder on the project page that's associated with the reevaluation form itself. I'll demonstrate this by attaching some documents to this project. I'm going to select a file from my local computer, select Noise Report, and open. When my file is pulled in, I see file name will be, and then it shows me the naming convention, starting with my FM number and the class of action, the district I'm in, the name of the file that's been pulled in, and then the date of the file. That's our naming convention, and all that information is attached automatically. The name shown here is based on the name of the file that I originally pulled from my local computer. I can update it in this box and change it to anything I want. As I type, you can see file name will be gets updated to show me what the name is going to be when the file is actually saved. If I try to add illegal characters like spaces or slashes or question marks, they're replaced with underscores in the file name. Separately, I can change the description of the document. I can update the publication date, and I'll need to select what products are represented in the file, and click Save. I'll attach another file for contamination. This time, after I've attached my document, I realize I need to change the name of the file. I click the Edit button, and in the Rename File section, I write the new name for the contamination report. I could also use the Edit button to completely replace the file. If I click Edit, notice the Choose File option is still there. This will delete the old file and replace it with the new one. Now I've replaced the contamination report with the other supporting documentation file. None of this is final until I save, though, so I'll scroll to the bottom and click Save Draft. If I don't like the order that my files are being shown in, I can change from the default auto sort to a custom sorting. When I choose custom, notice the drop-down buttons that appear at the beginning of each file. I can click the button and select a new order number, and the files will reorder. If I check the checkbox for Enable Drag to Sort, I can click and drag on the row and move it up or down and change the order of the files. This is particularly useful if you've referenced a file by number. Say, up above you've said something to the effect of see attachment 1, and then you have to replace attachment 1, and the new attachment comes in as attachment 3, well then you have to reorder them. Rather than having to go and change your comment, you just change the order of the files and you have complete control over what order they're in. Again, once you've reordered them, save draft. I'll click on the File Cabinet icon to return to the project page. And I'll scroll down to the Reevaluation section. where we see the old reevaluation form, draft reevaluation for segment 1, right-of-way phase, and draft reevaluation for segment 3, the one we just worked on, right-of-way and design change phase. The supporting documents section here, if I click anywhere in that row, expands and shows me the files that are attached, the publication date, and the file size for each of those files. In parentheses are the names of the products that the files are associated with, noise study report for the first one, and contamination screening evaluation report for the second one. These are the selections that we made when we attached the document to the reevaluation form. Part of reevaluation approval is submitting through the environmental document submittal. Now I'll show you how to select which reevaluation is submitted using the environmental document submittal form. In the environmental review process folder, we see Create New Environmental Document Submittal. I'll click Create. I'll select a submittal type, Initial or Request for Approval. Select my document type, Reevaluation, and then select Reevaluation Form. And here's where I choose from the two that we've created. The first one that was already there and the one we just created in this video. From there, I'll complete the EDS form as normal, but now I've selected this EDS to be associated with a specific reevaluation form. If you have questions about reevaluation, environmental document submittal, or anything related to SWEPT, you can contact the Office of Environmental Management Help Desk. Reach us through email using swept@fla-etat.org or call us at the OEM Help Desk at 850-414-5334.